Hi, my name is Alahnnaa Campbell, and my company is You Have a Life Plan, and I wanted to share with you something that is really dear to my heart. I'm just going to start the share screen here and talk to you a bit about basically kids who are labeled as problem children in school. So within my company, You Have a Life Plan, I have a subdivision called Support Their Light, and this is a service for parents with sensitive kids. So to give you a little bit of background, I'm a sole contract and human design specialist. I have a master's in psychology, and I'm a mother of an intense 5-year-old boy and a sensitive 2-year-old girl. So soul contract is basically the plan you had for this life. It's your personal law of attraction. It's the challenges you wanted to overcome, the talents you wanted to have on board, the goals you wanted to strive for, and what your life was meant to be all about. And everybody can access their soul contract. They can see their original plan for this life. And when you do, you can really move past the drama. You can understand why you have certain experiences. You actually draw them to you with this personal law of attraction. And the reason you do is so that you can face these experiences, overcome them, learn your lessons, and really offer your gifts to this world, which is how do you overcome these kind of challenges? So it's a really good insight to know. And then human design is basically once you choose your plan for this life, you choose an energetic vehicle that you feel is best suited to attain your mission in this lifetime. In human design, everything is either on or off, and based on the pattern of on and off, each person will have certain strengths, certain vulnerabilities, and unique strategies for success. In this presentation, I'm only going to focus on human design. So the story and the topic that's really dear to my heart is my son and his friend in school. So when my son's and his friend, when me and their mom come to pick them up, the teachers often relay to us stories like, well, they had a rough day. They never start the problems, but when the problems start, they join in and then they get really carried away. We're really trying to work on that with them to help them make smart choices. We feel they know they're making bad choices, but they still do so. And they feel it gets really out of hand. And then, we hear that, the problem is we have a lot of kids like this in our class. It's not just them, but there's more than normal. It's hard to manage. And then we start getting the messaging that maybe next year we're going to split them up. And when I look at their home human design, I can tell you exactly why they're behaving this way. So here is my son and his friend in human design. On the left, this is my son. On the right is his friend. You can see there's some things they have in common. What's colored in is turned on. What's not colored in is where they take in the world. But the thing I want to talk about today is right here. This is their identity center. Both of them have this not colored in, which means that they take on the identity of other people and they amplify it. So if they're in a room and somebody's misbehaving and they're in the proximity of that person, they're going to take that personality, that behavior, and amplify it. And they're going to look like the problem kids because they're behaving worse than the first one. And that's just what happens with this kind of energy. And then what you see here is a composite of my son and his friend. So when they're together, their identity is actually defined. They're nice and solid and defined. And so they're not sort of kicked around as much by other people. They also have a connection theme called 8 and 1 have some fun, which means that 8 of their centers are colored in and 1 is open. This is the perfect combo for 2 people, which means that together they're whole and they have one way to go into the world. And together they are here to explore the world and be inspired by the world together. The other interesting thing is both my son's friend and my son chose mothers that are very similar. So this is my friend's son, and this is his mom. And she, like me, is a projector, and she, like me, has a defined identity center. So when he is with his mom and when my son is with me, they feel that constant sense of identity, that constant soothing metronome. They know what to expect. It kind of like guides them, makes them feel safe. It feels like, okay, I'm home. It's a constant feeling. It's not so tossed around by like 26 kids in the class. So they chose to be with moms who can really see them, because that's what projectors can do. They really see people and they can guide them. And then again, they have that nice combo of the 8 and 1, where together they're here to learn about valuing each other, valuing themselves. It's really beautiful. And so you see the similar story with my son here and myself. Again, I have that identity center that sort of keeps him constant. And together, my son and I are here to go out and be inspired by the world. So what's going to be the fate of my son and his friends? Do you think they're going to get separated from each other in school? Do you think they should be separated now that you see their human design? And how do we communicate this information to the school? And what really can be done to overcome this pattern behavior, because splitting them up is not the answer. You split them up, you put my son in one classroom, you put this boy in another classroom, they're just going to amplify the behavior in those classrooms. It's just going to be the same thing, but in two different classes. And there's other kids, many other kids with open identity centers causing this problem. So I think we need to see it differently. We need to stop blaming them. All you need to do with somebody with an open identity center who's misbehaving or doesn't feel it is move them to another area, move them 55 feet away from whoever is acting up. That allows them to empty the other person's energy. They don't want that energy in them. They don't want to be misbehaving and out of control. So you're doing them a favor by removing them, let them empty out, let them calm back down to who they are, and see them as canaries in the coal mine, not troublemakers. They're actually a gift. They're the people who will give you the tone of the room. You can look to them, and if they're calm, the whole room is calm. So it's kind of nice to have them there, as difficult as it is when we're home, we're stressed out, and my son is behaving badly, but it's not him. He is the sort of like signpost for everybody needs to slow down because you guys are stressed, I'm not behaving well. The other thing to note is both of these kids are here for greatness. My son is a 6'2" in his human design profile. That means he's a natural and he's going to be a role model. But the only way for him to get there is through trial and error. So he's going to make what people consider mistakes, but they're really discoveries of what doesn't work. He's going to get banged around by life so that later he can be objective, be a role model, really know how to live, and people are going to look up to him. And his friend is a 5'1", which means he's going to investigate things deeply. He's going to know how we're doing things wrong, and he's going to share that with strangers and with the world and improve the way we do things. So do you really want to start labeling these kids who are going to be natural role models and investigators who are going to improve the way we do things as problem children? I don't think so. And then you put them together, they're here to be inspired together. They're actually a really beautiful match to be together. And they both chose to be raised by moms who are natural guides who really get them, because as projectors, we can see who they are, we can guide them. So rather than label them as problem children, I really think it's time to support their light. So the next steps, you tell me. I'd love to hear from you if you have any ideas on how we can lovingly share this information with the schools and the teachers. I know they are doing the best that they can with what they know. And I know that this information is very new, but it's so accurate and so helpful. And there's got to be a way to share this with them. And if you want to be part of the Support Their Light movement, maybe you want to take a look at your kids in human design. Maybe you want to understand them better and really support their light. And maybe you might be interested in future programs that I plan on building, where I'm going to support kids to understand their design and talk to them at their level. My son already talks about his design all the time, and help them advocate for their needs. As we try to support them, they also need to learn to advocate for their needs. And I also want to bring in practitioners who can help them process the emotional energy and the energy they take on from others, so that they know what to do when they feel like, whoa, I'm filled with other people's energy, and they know how to get that out of their body. So if any of this interests you, if you have any ideas, please get in touch. My name is there, my website and my email address, and I'm located in Oakville, Ontario. Thank you so much for your time.